Hello and welcome once again. Here we are, together again. It's a wonderment. Today I'm going to focus on, again, one of my favorite subjects, certainly, virtue and its importance in our education as citizens of the world. The importance of instilling high morals into our youth through a proper education, and the great value that that education has to each of you personally. Sadly, many of our institutions of higher learning, so-called, the great university system of education, has infected so much of our lives, so much of our society, with a left-wing narrative and Marxist social philosophy. And so it seems to me like a great old tree. American society has been slowly decaying from the top. Many in today's academic communities and those educated to embrace socialism in their university classes have turned traitor to the civilization and economic system that has both sustained and nurtured them. They have been seduced and deluded by sentimental equalitarianism, the sentimental equalitarianism of Marxism, and the ill-informed and ill-conceived social philosophy of people like Rousseau and other like-minded fools that have followed in his wake. These people now seem to be ignorant or dismissive of their proper duties as upholders and sustainers of moral improvement throughout the whole society. The ongoing decay of the once venerable humanistic intellectual discipline in higher education is just appalling to me. They have turned their backs on the wisdom traditions, whose principles for living have been most responsible for the growth and prosperity of our great nation, and most certainly have been responsible for the rise of civilization and the creation of civilized social people. Our professorial ranks seem to have forgotten the foundation of and the reason for education. The overriding purpose of higher education is supposed to be the discovery of truth and the refinement of the higher human faculties of discernment. The end of a student's classic liberal education, And now what I mean by classic liberal is in the old classic sense. That type of education results in the enlargement of the student's contextual understanding of the world in which they inhabit. They are educated to such an extent that they are able to behold in one sublime vision the entire scale of being in its range from the lowest to the highest. Along with this vision comes recognition of the divine decree of order in the universe and the subordination of the lower to the higher forms of living and being. The wise educator will impart these truths to their students without letting their students lose sight of the immutable truth that is at the heart of all true and useful education. That truth stipulates that virtuous choosing and living is the key to happiness and prosperity, and that these glorious ends are dependent on one's character development and moral improvement. Understanding and employing the cardinal virtues is now and always has been and always will be the main object of a true and classic and useful education. Useful instructions in higher education will encourage the students to continue to pursue their studies of the sciences, which expands their understanding of the universe and the way the world works, and their studies of the classics, which expands their understanding of the human condition and the purpose of life. And they will be well instructed in the wisdom traditions of their species, humanity, which gives the guidance of spiritual truth. They can do all of this with a proper classic education while training themselves to do something useful and worthwhile and of value. Wise educators teach their students about the meanings of life and confirm in them their better judgments against the ephemeral and vulgarizing seductions of our modern age. Well, those are my thoughts today on education, its purpose, its uses, which can be wonderful and helpful to you on your pathway to a life of great happiness and success and fulfillment and contentment and all the good things that this wonderful life here on earth has to offer you. As always, it is these things, these wonderments, these great values that I wish for you. Education is a wonderful thing. Great reading, learning, curiosity. The entirety of human history is at our, now these days, because of the internet, at our fingertips and available to us to think about and to wonder at what the great thinkers, the great people of our past have yet still to offer us. It's a lot. This is only some of it. So let's keep being curious and filled with wonder at the wonders of life. Goodbye for today. I love you all.